Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the day, a new day. Might be a day to remember. Might be some things happening. Who knows? We'll find out shortly, won't we? But what have we got? I'm sorry that Chalk isn't able to participate tonight or today or whatever you want to call it, depending on where you are in the world, because for me it's night, but for other people as every other hour of the day. But she's doing job interviews and stuff because, like Vulcan's really doing good for her, and unfortunately. So Seifu Dad, I see, was in earlier, and Whale Miner. Thank you so much, guys. Greatly appreciated. Leon, morning, Chalk and Keith. Short day at work today. Listening to your show will make it go by faster. Thank you very much, Leon. I'm sorry that I don't have Chalk beside me, but unfortunately, that's what happens. Yeah, I know. That's why I don't really have any direct contact to Brian. So I sort of use some other avenues, and I was seeing if I could sort of get him to join me on live stream. So I'm hoping he will connect up and decide to come in here for a bit before his main event. It might be, because it's like I said, no one watches my show. So come in here, give me a hard time, get your frustrations out, and then you'll go there with all these red eyes and some tears and stuff, and you can put on a show. So I did put it out there trying to help the fella. So don't say I'm not helpful. You are dead right, man. Like it's just one way to pass the day, isn't it? It's just the way it goes. So feel free to throw in any comments and stuff. I'm just going to grab a file that I was sent today, and it's quite, like, I know you guys have seen it, I know, but it's quite an interesting file, isn't it? I'm gonna download it onto my computer, which I can do now, and then then with a bit of luck, I'll be able to bring it up if I want to. If you guys want to, I don't know. We'll find out, won't we? You might be just intrigued to what it is. I'll tell you what, it's got a lot of stuff on it. Does that give you any hints? Lots and lots of things on it. I've sent out some requests for people to join me live if they happen to, like to participate on the live stream if they happen to be either awake or available. So that's all I can do is just ask people and just throw it out there, because you just never know. You don't even try these things. And the boss used my computer and she turned the brightness down, which I need the brightness up so I can see everything better. So it's quite an intriguing day we have in what about 55 minutes time? But of course he'll be late, and you got to be late to your own farewell, don't you? I know I'm biting my tongue a lot, aren't I? Bloody hell, I'm going to oh no. It's already a stuffed tongue as it is from the last bloody surgery. But there you go. So I think I can bring up this file and share it. I know it's nothing new. I get all that, but it's just rather intriguing. I haven't really had that much of a look at it yet, but yeah, it's just amazing all these wallet transactions, wallet links. Now, I don't know what their thresholds were. Like, it looks like there's been significant sums to enact a family tree of wallets. You know, it seems like some of them are like only $100 and stuff like that. But, you know, that's a reasonable transfer still. But there's so many that are so much more money. Like, it's just, yeah. Especially when you start adding, well, I haven't added any of them up, but if you just look down, you see the list of the amount of dollars that just like, you know, like it doesn't take much. 15, 17, 24, 24, 33, 24. Like the thousands are just like, okay, yep. It's a lot, isn't it? And then it just keeps on going. Like, it's just unbelievable how, and of course, you know, like it, you know, zooms across to bloody heaps more. It's just so many different wallets and stuff. Like, it's just crazy stuff, isn't it? Just, yeah. So it does make me wonder, like, what an explanation would be for that. That would be fair and reasonable. You know, what do you guys think? Like, it's not just like transfers to mates and stuff like that. Like, there was great movement today, was there? Nice. I have no idea what things are doing. I am totally out of touch on any of that sort of stuff. I'll spend too much of my time looking at probably all the shit that I shouldn't be looking at. Oh, God. Some things are just funny, you know, the shit that goes on behind the scenes, you know, it's just funny how I get messages. Don't worry, I'm not giving you away. I know, I get it. I know, I get all that. Yeah, because I'm getting messages, and you know, she's telling me that put you off the scent then if I say a she, but it's really a he, and then you know, but yeah, there's like when you have a look at it though, whoever you are, there's a bloody lot to it. Like, it's just crazy amount of shit, man. It just keeps going and going and going and going. Like, there's so many bloody transactions. It's just unreal. It's just wallet connections. It's just a huge amount of stuff. So, you know, like, it's pretty hard to sort of explain that sort of shit away when you're dealing with that sort of money. But of course, this is crypto. Always come up with some sort of shit excuse to cover their ass and go, oh, I'm not really doing anything wrong. You know, oh, poor me, I'm. Oh, mission accomplished. Yeah, I don't know. It's just funny thing is 99% of people won't even know how to follow those wallets. Yep. I know. Like seriously, like I'm a farmer, right? And the other half is my partner. Fancy that. But like she didn't know the first thing about like tracking wallets. Okay. And then about I don't know, when the one thing happened, I suppose, she started to get involved in looking at what wallets are doing what. And within literally 2 days of looking at the blockchain, she was throwing shit at me left, right, and center, saying that this is going to there, and she would draw all these, like CK there, drawing up all these connections of what wallets are doing, and it's like far out. You're just like, wow. And yet, like, shit, it's not that hard, like there's just and there's just certain things that give people away in their wallets. They can own some particular sort of coin, or they put themselves out there with disclosing their wallets or whatever it might be, and you just look back in the history. I remember so and so saying something and about their wallet, and then you just type in their name and it comes up. Yep, right, I got it right. Yeah, I knew it, because people are just creatures of habit. That I found when I'm looking at what I'm looking at, that they just tend to do similar sort of actions. And so you can sort of almost represent certain actions to particular people. It's kind of funny how it works like that. I know that it sounds like I'm talking shit, but so many times it's just proven time and time again to me, and it's just like, without bringing it to anyone's attention, because I couldn't care less. People are allowed to do whatever they do, but it's just one of those things that you can that you learn over time, and it really doesn't take that much to learn it. Like it's not that hard, and that's why like people like CK or whoever that put in the time and effort, and of course in the Brew Discord put in the effort to do some research. Well, holy shit, like they're gonna obviously come up with some proper things like that chart, and where you can actually follow the trail. And of course it's all on the blockchain. You can look at it yourself. You just pick up one of those primary wallets, and then of course you can follow the chain if you wish. It's all there. Like no one can delete it. It can never be hidden. Like it's there. Like it is what it is. I'm just reading this cheeky bugger here, or Sheila on here, won't message on my YouTube because it might be, it's all right. We know what's going on. He's throwing up some hypothesis to different things that he's going to sook about, I think, saying that he's under hypnosis and so under control of a bad actor. All this sort of crap. It's like the funniest thing that fucking got me, everyone, is that when someone comes out with the mental problem thing after they've been caught, like, it's always like the criminal who does a murder or rape or something like that, something severe, like a real thing. And then they go, sorry, we've got rain here, and I'm just using these as earmuffs because that's really hurting. They always use the mental problems, like, and it goes to court like that. Like I was suffering, mental stress or breakdown or some sort of shit, and it's what all the major sort of criminals do to help reduce their sentence or whatever it is. Like end up going to like a mental institution of some sort to get some sort of mental help. And it just seems like their little out thing is to always use mental. And it's like, it's just a classic play card, like seriously. And if people fall for that shit, like, where was the problems beforehand? And of course, they have led up to that by laying some seeds. Like, for argument's sake, he wrote down, look at my wishy-washy. And you go, that wasn't wishy-washy. That was your normal behavior. What are you talking about? like you were always flip-flopping. Like, you go that I'd say to do something and then I did the opposite. Hello, that's exactly what you did. That was your play. Like, that wasn't wishy-washy. That was you. Unfortunately, that was you. You always did that to the people in the community. So go figure. Like, seriously, just like building a case for outs, trying to find that there's I know it's such a pathetic play card, because it's like I was saying, it's what major criminals do. Like, you commit a major crime, rapes or murders or something like that, and then they always pull out the mental card, and it's like, you fucking idiot. Like seriously, what the hell is up with that shit? Like, go before the judge. I'm suffering mental stress. Okay. Like, it's just so crap. I just can't believe that someone would someone would say such shit. But of course, like, it's not unexpected, but it was just like, so you could have written a book for it. It's so obvious. And of course, he's going to come on live stream supposedly in 45 minutes time. And this is going to be his play card, is that, get out his violin and go, oh, everyone, I'm so sorry. I've done nothing but the best. I've never stolen a single cent from anyone. All I've ever done is had everyone at heart. I'm set this up so I can make all these millionaires, like, everything's going just fine. There's no problems with anything. And it's like, we'll see in 45 minutes time or an hour's time, see whether I'm true or not. But that's what he's going to do. Because, of course, no way is he going to admit any liability on any aspect. And even on those wallets, even on the fire pit, nothing. Well, that's the beauty of being a gold member. Partner. No cost to me whatsoever. Absolutely zero. They even make the contract for me, which they're doing now. But of course, we're still talking tokenomics, because it's changing a fair bit from where it is now. I was saying it wasn't really going to change that much, but there actually is a couple of additions that might be going into it, which will change it a fair bit. There's one aspect of it, obviously I won't talk about it, but not now, but is to make it more of a community type token. So it'd be, but that's what's happening, is the move to Grove is paid for, and I get support because Calf Token is a real token. It does real stuff. It has the animal ethics. Sorry, I've just read, because this one here won't come on my live stream and talk. I got to read the messages from here, and I can't post them up there, of course. But said, don't fuck everyone on the planet, and you will not be stressed. True. Watching over your giant shoulder. True. Men lie, women lie, Brian Legend lie, blockchain doesn't lie. The only thing that I say with those wallet transactions is I'm not sure what the threshold is or exactly what those transactions were for. Like I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt on tiny little aspects, okay? That you just never know. Like, for instance, I do a transfer to a friend, say, or a business associate or something like that. And it might be legitimate business stuff, but when you start to pull up all the wallets, you go, okay, what was this transaction for? And, like it looks nefarious, but it might be perfectly explainable. But of course, like when you got all the links to the Goblin and all that sort of shit, and direct links to the Fire Pit, all those wallets and the money, like obviously I get it. You can't fucking explain that shit away. Like, I know. But there's my little bit of humility, trying to give away that little bit of a olive branch for 2 seconds. But of course I know that the olive branch is a very weak one and it'll break before anything touches it. I get it. One thing for real, this bloke is screwed up in his head and knows how to play people. He knows how to play people like you wouldn't believe. He is like, this is my explanation for it. He's like a really good politician. The ones that have been in a business for, many, many years and have learnt the mastery of being able to run the narrative and the agenda to exactly what they want. So they can always seemingly twist a conversation to be able to only speak along the lines of which they wish to speak. Even, like for argument's sake, answering a question without even answering the question. Like you're answering your own made up question, which is a positive question, but of course you've been asked a negative question. Like good politicians can spin that sort of shit like standing on their head. And Brian is the best at doing that. Like all the AMAs and stuff, that's what you saw was that sort of professionalism at work. And it is professionalism because he was getting paid for it. As much as he says, I never made a dime and all this sort of crap. Yeah, righto. Okay. Yep. You never actually got a paycheck as such, but you made sure you're handsomely paid. Like, don't sort of try and run the narrative, like we know, we get it. But obviously tonight's live stream's a little bit more talk on the Brian thing because this is like my little pre-Brian Legend show, if you call it. And, like I'll throw out that olive branch for him to join me on live stream, but the DAP draining whales, I know, wasn't that a perler, hey? And it's just a shame. Like, I'll tell you one thing about that, right? I'll tell you one thing about that is that the problem is when you start pissing people off, sooner or later, you're going to piss off the wrong one. And what Brian did, he happened to piss off Mike, who was what I would call the wrong one, who was able to come together with more people that are in the same position and actually had the resources, like the know-how and the resources to say and do things to get an affirmative response. And to then, and of course, the outcome of it wasn't to their liking, of course, because it was just wrong, just to refund their owing plus 10% after 2 months of rebasing. Like, what a joke that is. And that is why you just, like in this business, sooner or later, you're going to cross someone that has more guns than you, that has the know-how, the ability, the connections, something that's going to fuck you up. And, that's what he did with Mike. And I haven't, like, I talked to Mike, but I haven't actually talked to Mike as such, like he's in the Discord and stuff, but I've never actually had a conversation with the fella. Saw him on a live stream and I've seen what his predicament was of what he was put into. So I understand. But yeah, it was just, yeah. of course, it goes without saying there's been, but that was a funny thing. So many people did. I actually thought CK was an awesome guy. Like, he was helping me with bots on the Discord and stuff. And all of the communications I've ever had with CK have just been absolutely amazing. He's just been a top-notch guy to me. And no, I'm not kissing ass or anything like that. I'm just saying it the way it is for me. You're not late. Thank you for showing up. Cheers. I'm blessed. Thank you very much. You have missed me talking a whole lot of shit about those wallets and that, though, because I was sort of I got sent this today with all the treasury wallets and shit, and like, I haven't gone through it, but just the sheer quantity of stuff is just like far out, Brussels sprout. There's just so much stuff. Yeah, I know. I realise that it depends on your angle that you associate with someone. I know. See, I never really, like, for a long time, I never really had a lot to do with the Safe Food Discord, because a lot of time I was banned. So believe it or not, and I don't have any alts, so I just didn't know. I get accused of having alts, and it's like, okay, where's my alt? Because I haven't even got an alt. So I have no idea. I've had one before, yes, but I just give up because I can't keep up with running an alt. My head just gets fried on that shit. It's like, fuck, I'll give up. Really good at, yeah, absolutely, of course. He was obviously doing a job. That's right. Jason has always come across as a smart one of the pair. Tell me, who's the recipient and who's the giver? Because it's always made me wonder that. Because you could make a case for both sides of that argument. And no, I personally have not made, like, I've had my suspicions, but I've never actually put my thumb on it yet to work it out. Yeah, we know you got banned lots of times. I get that. I don't think you could exist without getting banned. Like, it's just what happens. Of course, that was, and when you had Jason on his live streams, he was always swearing and yelling, like just saying, like in the Australian, really upfront Australian way. And so it, like, really direct. So it made it where it was definitely a good cop, bad cop situation. I understand that. There was no doubt about that. It was definitely a good cop, bad cop. And you try and tell, like, Chris Cruz at long last has come around and realised that you can't just be on Brian Legend's ass. Geez, that sounds wrong. Because Jason is just as culpable. And no doubt Adrian and whoever the other fella is as well, because to be complicit, to allow someone to have the fire pit keys, and like, once that point came when it was first accessed, from that very moment they should have shut down shop and sorted it out from that very moment, let alone all of the things that happened before that. But from that moment in time, it should have been all over Red Rover, and they all played their complicit cards to it, like, all just, yes sir, and it's like a team, unfortunately, like, I know in a lot of things where a lot of companies just shed the CEO and the rest of them just move on. But in this case, they were all complicit. So you can't just make it where Brian is the only one that's like the scapegoat. And then, of course, he's allowed to have wallets in there that can just totally mess up everyone. Because that's just like, all you're doing is playing the scam, the long card now, where you've got rid of, like, all the perceived threats of the blockchain, and now he's able to, like, essentially have a free ticket to do trading behind the scenes, like with those wallets and stuff like that. And, like, who could ever stand for that? Like, it's just ridiculous. So Brian takes it. It's kind of funny because that's the conclusion I came up with the most. I couldn't really work it out, but like I've really flip-flopped a bit on that. The voice sometimes really got me, but then I was kind of like, Jason is the aggressive one, and so it's kind of, it works a bit more like that, doesn't it? I think BL is an ideas man, but Plan B was the one that took his cookie idea. Absolutely, because Plan B is the tech guy, okay? And you can't tell me that these guys, being old school friends or whatever it was, haven't been in associations ever since those days. And like, of course they've been scheming up things, and they've seen Fitrova and all that sort of stuff, and where they've failed on that because they've had fake team members and stuff like that. They're learning from their mistakes, and they're stepping it up, and just showing now that more and more of it's coming to the fore, where it's becoming more evident of the death. But the problem is with the community, the Vulcan community, is that they might possibly end up giving Jason a free pass, and yet that's all part of the scheme, where Brian is able to maintain control over enough wallets still to be able to still essentially do the same shit that he always wanted to do. Like, he's got sacrificial wallets, but what about the other wallets? So are they actually going to go through with doxing of the top 20? Like they might say it, but are they actually going to do it? Because I believe that if they blacklist wallets, if people can, authentically dox that they're, proper people, that have no associations, well, then that wallet will be like free to do whatever it wants to do. And they've got time between now and blockchain launch, because it'll probably be forever anyway, to be able to sort that shit out. And yeah, I know, that's right. And every single one of them. And that's why he was coming at me saying that I was a scam and all this sort of shit. And it was like, all it was look over here while I fuck you over there. That's all it ever was. And Yanni was a part to that, unfortunately. With the one debacle was exactly that on the live stream with Prado. That's exactly what that was just a smoke and mirrors routine, and just classic BL marketing for his own benefit. And that's why, like, he was putting out scam, and then suddenly when the agenda was worked out and they got able to get the narrative right, then they came out that things weren't a scam. Nothing was ever a scam anyway. It was like there was nothing wrong with anything. Like, there was never a malicious sell down. It was just what you would call the free market. I know Lucky Charms did his thing. It was the free market. Like, he was allowed to do what he did. That was the free market. And that's what my thing has always been. Like, I know that it was to accomplish an outcome, but Brian brought right into it. I seen the wallet that he was talking about, and it was a nothing. It's just a load of shit. Yeah, I know. Of course, what Brian did on the very first times was go onto YouTube like this and look in the camera and say, like I some sort of shit, like, I plead for your forgiveness and I'm sorry that, these things that I've had in the past didn't work out. And, like, and because he was able to relay that in a really good actor's way, he got the outcome that he wanted and was able to continue on with what he was doing. And Seifu consequently become extremely successful, and many say too successful, because it allowed him to have this cult following, like what Yanni says, where he could run the narrative and the agenda to just pump and dump. And all of those wallets that you see, it's just like, far out, man. Like, it's just... Was Anti-Ponzi a failed project or a scam? I have no idea who Charles Ponzi is. But I presume he was the creator of a Ponzi scheme. Like, I don't know. I've never looked that far into it yet. Was he a genius? Yeah. Well, Ponzi's is just like, it's just amazing how this shit happens. But, to be able to drive like a cult narrative and have so many people on side driving the same narrative to achieve the agenda of making money for oneself was just unbelievable. And of course, the people with him made money. Yeah. And that's like you could put, yes, the people with Brian made money. Like, of course they made money. Like, and that's why I say the whole bloody team needs to be removed. And there is no way you can convince me any other way because they're all complicit. That's my own opinion. And, I haven't voiced any of this in the past, but I am now because that's the way it has to be. There's just no way that they can sugarcoat it and go, we didn't know anything. Like, yeah, pull the other one. You go on these trips and all this sort of stuff and, have all these private conversations. You try and tell me that they didn't know what was going on, at least to some degree. Like, come on. Like, they seen the pump and dumps. They seen, like, how the hell could they not see what was going on, and let alone the fire pit? Like, how can you not see that shit? That was never meant to get touched. And then, of course, it was. One of the programs I was in years ago, the guy running it scammed a carload of people, showed up at his house. Oh, fuck, man. I'm so tempted to do that shit, but I'm on the wrong side of the country. I'm 4,000 odd Ks away. I don't know whether I'm that keen to go for a drive over there to do that shit. Hopefully someone that lives a bit closer. Like, he's in Metropolitan, so, there's millions of people in this area, or 2 million or whatever in that area. So, the greater Brisbane area. So, Gold Coast, of course, but it's all the same thing. It's connected. So there's got to be someone there that's been heavily impacted. Yeah, obviously it goes with the name. I get that bit. It wasn't too hard to put. I'm a bit stupid. Sorry, Yaddy. I'm just fucking you. Vulcan was the greatest thing he could have ever come up with. Sorry, I'm just got to laugh when you say that shit. I know, to keep all the comment, I know. But what really turned me off is all the, I keep forgetting the fucking word. When you shorten words into, someone can help me out. Anagrams or whatever you call it. When you say like SIF or, these sort of things like, that are shortened words. Fuck, I always forget that simplest bloody thing to remember. Acronyms. That's the one acronym. Thank you, Auntie. I know, it's just, for some reason, it's just something that I just keep friggin' forgetting for such a simple thing. I just need to burn it in my friggin' head. But that sort of goes to say, I hate acronyms. Like, they're just, whenever I see acronyms anywhere, it just puts up a red flag straight away going, they're so full of shit. Like, there's so many programs that, or projects or whatever, to use acronyms. And seriously, it's just like, you might as well fucking like, it's so like trying to make hypey sort of shit. And it just turns me off. And every time he kept on coming up with these acronyms, it was just like, what the, like, seriously, like, just had enough of these acronyms. There's always some fancy way to say some shit. And it was just like, what? What are you going on about? There was someone that said they agree with me. Whale miner. I got to put on a comment where someone agrees with me. You are dead right, Whale Miner. It does not work. It does not work without them. That is 100%. And it stopped raining, so I no longer need any earmuffs. To the three founder defense. Oh no, what a load of crap. It's just like at every turn they've just like looked the other way, and bought into either it was a conglomerate idea, which I'm sure it was, no doubt. I will tell you that it was. That's my opinion, because there's no way that it was just a single person in that particular team. In this space, you can't tell me like it's, like in corporate business, you can have a CEO that does some stuff, and I'm sure there's others within the business, but not necessarily the number two that knows. But in this particular sort of business, like when you've only got four people that are the leaders in the business, you can't tell me that they didn't know what was going on, especially when they've been a witness to all of the comings and goings of the project. Like, there's just no way. Like, and it's just ridiculous to think that it could be any other way, that it's all solely Brian. No, it's absolutely not. I bet you. And that's why I'd love to see what wallets are actually on the outside, because you're only looking at wallets that Brian has. What about the other ones? They've got wallet 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 or something like that are Brian's wallets. I bet you the missing numbers all the way up to a long way the other team, I bet you. And so essentially, if you give them a free pass, I bet you that it's going to be just allowing the scam to continue. It's going to get wiped out. None of us are going to have Vulcan rewards if this is allowed to just be swept under the carpet and allow Brian to get a free pass. It's just not. It's just not right. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, none of us, like, all the focus has been put on Brian and that, but because he's got public wallets and that sort of stuff, right? But what about the other wallets that like Jason has, like Adrian has, or whatever? Like, have they sacrificed? This will be the key point. Did they wait to day 4 or 5 or whatever it was after the pump to sacrifice? Because that would really show that they were complicit. Like, and buying in on all the shit. Like, you ask that question and see what you get. Show us some evidence that you did not sacrifice when it was pumped. And of course, I know there's people that sacrifice when it was pumped. But if you're out in the public space, fair call, whatever. Of course, people will sacrifice on day 4 or 5 or whatever it is. Luck of the draw. But if the team sacrificed on that day with any of their personal wallets or any other wallets at all, that says everything that you need to know, like that one aspect. Yeah, well, obviously, I'm talking about the Vulcan wallets, for the sacrifice in a Vulcan. Yeah. I know, but that's just the fear of what I have. If they allow Brian a scapegoat status, where like the martyr, where he takes all the blame, and all the other wallets are allowed to exist that we don't know about, because like it has to be proven to me that they didn't sacrifice. Just that one aspect alone would say everything, that they didn't sacrifice when the price was pumped. If they show that any of those wallets are sacrificed when the price was pumped, I'm meaning from the team or people that are, like people from the team, then that says everything. No, but the awareness can be hidden though until it becomes aware. And the problem is that I fear is it might still be too late to be aware of all of the things that have gone on, because not until you find particular wallets that are linked to certain things that you can then link all the other wallets and end up with what CK done there, and end up with a stream of wallets like this that are all connected up. You've got to have the starting point, to be able to put all that together, put a family tree of wallets together. And of course, they're stupid enough to do inter-wallet transfers and stuff. And because of course I know they most likely got no choice or whatever. I don't know. We got into talking about how to run the black market last night on my live stream, but that sort of stuff is all new to me. I've never heard of that shit before, but use Monero and whatever, but ways of doing things. But obviously they didn't do that, did they? They didn't even use this thing called a mixer, like whatever that is, on one of the things to sort it out. Like, I don't know. It's just, yeah. But like seriously, as a community, I just don't see how we can allow to be settled for less than complete transparency now from the complete team, because I just don't see it any other way. I'm set in my ways where, they've got to prove their innocence. I know that you got to prove guilt, yes, in legally sense, but being crypto, the team has to prove their innocence, like make us aware of whatever the wallets are, and prove that those wallets weren't sacrificed on when there was that pump that was put in that shot Brian's wallets up to the moon. That's just a given. There's just no way. And even then it's going to be bloody difficult enough, because like the blockchain doesn't put names on wallets as such. So, they might still have stuff out there. But that would be at least a good starting point anyway, because of course then you could do a family tree of wallets and maybe be able to link a lot more wallets together. That's just my thoughts. But I just can't see it having any chance of success without that. I just can't see it. It's just, you might as well just give up and throw it all away if you don't pursue true transparency like that, because they should be able to accept that and just, they've already got enough money. Fuck, like, good on them. They filled their boots. Hopefully they get some legal consequences, but we all know the space is very difficult to get that. But that. What else do you do? Anyway, I might nick off now, and then everyone's got a few minutes to get ready for the bullshit event. All the crocodile tears and shit. I wish I could post a message on there, passing my love on to him, tell him that I'm really sorry, and because I know that if he heard a message from me, I'm sure he would just love that and take it with all the heart's worth that it was delivered in. I just find it a bit sad that they couldn't give a stuff about us. It's disappointing, isn't it? See me on the dark side. Yeah, that's all right. It's all good. Thank you very much. I see the numbers up there, and not everyone's talking, but yeah, thank you very much for joining. It's greatly appreciated. But I think I'll just call it quits. I've talked enough. I'm sure you guys all know my opinion. Obviously, it frustrates the shit out of me. It's so annoying. I'm very diplomatic, I know, with my conversations, even with Prado and stuff like that. But, just keep your chin up, guys, and keep doing all your stuff, eh? It's obviously yeah, some hard times. Just got to get the right people. And I really feel that we just got to look. I have been around people with mental health issues a lot, and I feel exactly the same way. And that's why I'm absolutely bemused when someone does what I call a crime and then pleads the mental insanity type clause, It's like, what? It's just, that in itself is sad, like it's just ridiculous. It's stupid. It's pathetic. It's weak, fucking weak. And, hope in some way that me love gets through to Brian and a big fuck you. Take it easy, guys. Maybe troubled emotions. Yeah, I know. Troubled with how to deal with all of that crypto that he's got to try and turn into fiat now. That's where the issue is. I think he's got a big problem of just trying to, get it. Yep. And I'll give you one little pointer. The Twitter post that he put out there, which he put his mental hardships on, he was very coherent and his sentences were very structured in a legally sort of non-committed sense, that a person with mental problems would be having difficult to construct such a sentence. And of course it's his account, so we're presuming it's from him. And of course he didn't make a disclosure to say that someone else wrote it on his behalf and he approved it. So to me, I'm no psychologist or psychiatrist or anything like that, but it looks awfully, like if it smells like a fish and looks like a fish, it probably is a fucking fish. Like it's, yeah, that's my belief, is that his writing is very in depth, very protective, like saying the things to exonerate himself on every single aspect. And, people that are under stress, to the extent that he reckons he is, wouldn't be able to do that. He would find it extremely difficult to be able to get himself together to be able to write such things. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's bloody hell. And of course, he's going to, like I say, he's going to put on his crocodile tears and go, oh, boo-hoo, and all the rest of it, and try and sucker everyone in. But fuck's sake, guys, don't fall for it, eh? Like, yep. Just don't fucking fall for it. Like, keep the pressure on to get the team to disclose, because, like, it's just not good enough. Like, to have this depth of actions happening within the ranks, particularly that it's from the top, just don't let it go. Like, seriously, just fight the fight. And that's for everyone's sake, because I bet you there's so many hidden wallets there that they've got in those top wallets that, that are going to, like I was saying before, like about Mike, he fucking pissed off Mike, didn't he? Like, sorry for laughing, but seriously, when you start fucking scamming people and you happen to scam the wrong one, someone that's got the intellect and the resources and the drive to be able to, put up a fight, like, fuck's sake, sooner or later it's going to happen, and you're going to piss someone off that you wish you didn't. And they fucking, he certainly picked a good one in Mike. Oh, what a fucking joke. Yeah, no, and of course, gathered a heap of guys together, to do all their shit, and it's fucking good. Like, I love it. I just, yeah, I don't know. Just they give people like me a bad name, like, we're just trying to do our shit in the space, and it's just It's just fucked, you know. I'm not here doing a promotion for Calf or anything like that. I'm just telling you that it. Yep. You got to remember, in the world, there's always someone quicker, stronger, has more money, has more legal fight than you, more zest, more. You know, there's always someone that's better than you, that knows how to play better than you. You know, you just don't write everyone off. I think the live stream is all part of the scam. That's what I believe. I believe that he's going to try and run a narrative which exonerates members of the team. So then it's got a free run to run the wallets that they still maintain, because I bet you they still maintain enough control over enough wallets to sink the ship and take all of the money, not just part of the money. That's what I believe. So prove it that it's not the case, because I bet it is. That's what I think. But anyway, guys, I said I was going like 10 minutes ago and I'm still here. Normally I do like 2-hour live streams, so 1 hour is actually pretty quick. I didn't end up with a visitor today, so that's all right. Chalk couldn't make it, but that happens. But yeah, I remember the day we formed Broof, and see, I'm not sure. See, Wolf Grim, I'm not sure whether like your mic or someone else's mic. I don't know all your names, you know, as such. So, you know, please excuse me for that, because I'm not up. Even though I spend a lot of time in there, I'm not up to date with exactly who. So I don't mean to sound too ignorant or anything. Yeah, that's right. Please keep up the fight for the other team, because they've got to disclose what they have. They have to. They have to disclose. Did they sacrifice when it was pumped? That is the key point that either makes a wallet legitimate or not. And of course, you can look at all the wallets that bought on the pump and say, pick the top 100 wallets, right? And then you could start doing a KYC on those wallets and you'll be able to work it out, you know, and they link back to the team. There you go. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, no, I didn't think you were Mike, because like he's the master, but you know, like yeah, Mike's story is just unbelievable though, isn't it? And I'm sure you've got a great story as well. Of course, feel free to add me and share me, and you know, share with me and all that sort of stuff, because I just, you know, whatever, it's just shit. Yeah, I know. There's just so much shit, isn't there, Yanni? I get it. All we can do is just put up a bit of a fight and just hopefully that truth wins out, you know, honesty wins out. But what I was saying about Calf is that what really fucks me off is that fuckhead, I'm sorry for all language, but this is the way I feel, that fuckhead fucking put me through shit, and yet I'm running a project that actually does something. And I was trying to use the blockchain to actually help to run a project that actually has a real world utility, which is obviously the cause for the calves. Like, that is real. That is what I do. That is what my family does. And like, for fuck's sake, why did he see that we were just so shit that he had to just do that to us so much? It was just wrong. You know, and it's just so annoying that's obviously I copped a whole lot of flack from so many in the community. And look what's transpired now. Like, you know, it's like the brew people, they get pissed off with certain, you know, the maxis and shit like that, but it's the same shit, you know, like, it's just bloody annoying that you got to cop all this shit from a scammer, from, you know, they're doing it themselves. And when you're on my end of the deal, it was like, there's some fucking shit going on here because none of it makes sense. The shit that was coming out. I bet you he'll show up late because he's got to get his red eyes done. He'll probably chuck a bit of pepper in there or something like that. But, it's just so fucking annoying that, they've seen fit to run what I believe is a good project, because it's a real project, through the gutter. That's my little sales advertisement for Calf. But it's true. It's just fucking annoying. And it just shits me to tears that, got to have your name dragged through shit just because of a scammer that has his own agenda. It's fucked. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it quits at that. Take care. Enjoy the next show. Hopefully you get something out of it. I'm sure it's going to be just shit, but hopefully there's something in there for everyone. Take care. And when I find me a little outro, there we go. Take care. Cheers. Love yous all. Bye.